Hello, once again, this is Brother Teacher, here to set some of us straight as it relates to martial arts. All arts inclusive that are considered martial arts. Some of us join martial arts schools, clubs, gyms, programs for various reasons. But I'm a veteran, not only of the military, but a veteran of the martial arts, and I still continue today to train and to teach. And I want to say this to you: I can prove who I am and what I am. Physically, even in my early 60s, I can prove it. All you have to do is come visit me, and you'll find it out. That's not being boisterous, it's not bragging, it's just simply telling you the truth. It's no different than you signing up for the Army or the Marines, and you're standing in front of the DI or drill instructor, drill sergeant, as it were, and the language that they use towards new recruits. They curse you out, they talk about you, your family, and so forth. I'm using that same mentality right now towards you. This is the real world, is what I'm trying to get you to understand or comprehend. And it is what it is. You cannot sugarcoat it, you cannot make it picturesque, make it fit what you want it to fit. It is what it is. Now, all black belts are not the same. There are black belts, karate, let's say for example, that are true black belts in the sense that they have put the time and the work in, the physical labor in, the criteria, all of those things that's required of them in a particular art and or a system that they've studied. And then there are people who join. It's kind of fun at first, a little difficult for some, but they're not willing to give it everything that they have as they progress through the levels in their particular art or system. So they fall off. Some of them quit. Some of them get angry because they haven't been promoted to the rank that they think they should be at, because they're not putting the work in, right? Sometimes you have instructors that are poor instructors who have been babied throughout their so-called career in martial arts, and they pass that same mindset on to their up-and-coming new students. That babyfied mindset mentality. What I'm getting at is this: when those same individuals who have obtained the rank of Shodan, for example, first degree black belt, initially, they have this sense of pride, accomplishment. Where the real test is when they go outside in the real world and they're faced with an opponent who has the intent to harm them, and they are not equipped, or they freeze, they panic, they are afraid, trepidatious. What happened? What didn't happen is what we really need to ask the question. What didn't happen was they didn't have the proper training in real world fighting, real world possible combat. The real issue is with a lot of martial arts instructors is that they were never taught how to fight. And I hate using that expression, fight. I would rather say how to protect themselves, even though it is technically fighting, but we don't espouse being a fighter per se, as some people on the internet you see, and even YouTube, are always talking about, can this person fight and fight and fight. So we have to be very careful careful and sensitive even when we're talking, especially to children, when we use that term fight. Protect yourself or self-defense. Those are terms that are more, in my estimation, acceptable as an instructor when you're talking to people about self-defense, protecting yourselves. Now, I do believe that you have to have a solid foundation as it relates to the science of fighting, as it were, the principles, the physics of the human body, knowing anatomy. It's a lot of things that you have to know fundamentally as a martial arts practitioner. And thinking just because I can run a kata hung accurately or proficiently, or it looks beautiful when I perform techniques and I go to a competition and people give me accolades or they applaud me and say, well, you're very good or you did very well. That's not the same as facing an adversary in a street confrontation. It's not. Even when you participate in what we call kumite or sanshao, fighting in the tournaments as well, kung fu or karate tournaments, there's a different element in point fighting or sport fighting as it relates to martial arts. You have a referee, you have a clock, you have rules, regulations, and stipulations. Those don't exist in the street. So when you don't have that person intervening to give you a point here and there inside of a martial arts sporting event, when you don't have that individual, that referee or that judge there, and it's just you and the person in front of you in the street, do you have a solid foundation and a solid understanding of fighting? That's what you really need to ask yourself. So those of you that are listening to me right now, if you are a novice, please pay attention. If you are an intermediate ranked person, pay attention to me. And most definitely, if you are a black belt who think that you have arrived and that you are untouchable and that you've won so many championships that you're invincible and no one can beat you, or you're a great fighter again, beware. Because the truth is going to be in the pudding when you face that beast outside in a street confrontation, because they're not playing with any rules. Understand that. So all of these people who continue to get promoted to second, third, fourth, fifth degree black belt, master, all the way up to grandmaster, even sometimes because their teachers are looking for a payday, or they're trying to appease you so that they can keep you in the role or in the ranks amongst their students, because you benefit them somehow or another, especially from a fiduciary standpoint, financial. Beware, because you are going to be sadly mistaken as far as that thing that you wear around your belt, or excuse me, around your waist in the martial arts dojo, dojang, or kwon. You're going to be sadly mistaken about what that rank represents when you're standing out in the street and you don't have it on, because it doesn't translate the same. That looks good in the dojo, your rank around your waist, the American flag and all of your patches and your whatever, your doodads. But you don't wear that in the street. No one recognizes you as a martial arts master, black belt, or whatever. You've got to know what you know. You have to know what you profess to know. And again, while I'm on that note, those of you that are masters, can you teach? Can you teach what you profess to know yourself? Can you teach self-defense? Can you teach a person the fundamentals, the foundation of fighting? How the body moves, where the vulnerable targets are, even pressure points. Did I open up a can of worms? You must know these things in order for your art to be effective. You have to be effectively equipped here and understand. And you must have a certain temperament when it comes to a physical confrontation. Do you have the warrior mentality if you had to defend you and yours? Or do you cower when you're faced with conflict physically? Hello? Am I speaking true to you or not? So, As humble as we are and should be as martial arts masters and grandmasters, even black belts, as humble as we may seem or appear, can you turn on that animal when it's necessary to defend yourself? Hello. This is where the rubber meets the road. So, as I close, I want to make this point perfectly clear. There are people who are given rank who don't deserve to be the rank that they are. From the standpoint of being someone who should be able to take care of themselves physically in a confrontation if it were to happen or occur. Now, we must always constantly try to avoid fights at every cost. But if peradventure we do find ourselves in a situation where we have to protect ourselves or someone else from a physical standpoint, I don't care who you are, man or woman, and you're studying martial arts, you should know what to do, and it should be automatic. And that automation only comes from constant repetition of your syllabus, of your techniques, and the proper mindset or state. It doesn't mean that you won't get touched. It doesn't mean that you won't get bruised. You won't receive some injury. But the last blow is always that of the martial arts master. You may initiate, but the conclusion is going to be in our hands. That's the way it is. It's that simple. That's not going for bad. It's just simply what it is. And I've been doing this over 50 years. And I have never had a break. You follow? I know what I know. And this is not a challenge. Never would be, because that's not who I am. I'm not cut from that cloth. I don't need to do that. I let what I do speak for itself. And to that point, if anyone wants to know if I know what I know, you can come see me. Cincinnati, Ohio. Here in June of this year, 2023, June the 10th, we will be hosting, my students, my black belts will be hosting a tournament, and I'll be teaching there. And I've taught many years in tournaments. But anyway, I'll be teaching here in Cincinnati, and it's up and coming, and I'll make you privy to the information sometime in the very near week or so. And I'll have the flyers done June the 10th. That's a Saturday, 2023, at the Evanston Recreation Center here in Cincinnati. We will have a open martial arts competition, and I'll be teaching for approximately an hour and a half on that same day, arthritis and all. And that's the other thing before I leave. You should never let the fact that you're getting older stop you from teaching masters, grandmasters, black belts. Oh, I'm old. Or I've been doing this a long time. Well, keep doing it until you can't do it any longer. I don't care if you're in the wheelchair, teach. It's that simple, and let's stop making excuses for what we should be doing. This is Grandmaster Reginald Stroud, Sr., also affectionately known as Brother Teacher. So long.